What was it about people that rubbed you the wrong way upon sight? Annette slumped in her seat, coming to terms with the startling news that she and Gabrielle would be spending quality time with this, uh, person behind the wheel. Of course, the situation they were in wasn't about her feelings or discomfort, she reminded herself, sitting up straight. Sophie was coping with some serious problems. It was understandable, but not pleasant to think they would have to stay with Jeff. She felt herself seethe with dislike for the man, although none of it was his fault, she grudgingly admitted. However, her feelings weren't entirely unwarranted. He'd been short and unfriendly, in fact, bordering on rude since the moment he'd laid eyes on them. Well, maybe not toward Gabrielle, but no one could be angry with Gabrielle. She was beautiful, with a disposition to match. As the two occupants of the front seat continued to discuss the grim state of affairs on the ranch, Annette gazed admiringly at her sister from the seclusion of the back of the cab. Gabrielle's eyes were so brown they were almost black. Her thick sweep of dark lashes fanned a porcelain complexion, and the natural ruby red of her full lips was striking. All these attributes conspired to turn men's heads, and always had since they were young. Annette wasn't jealous. She was proud of her lovely sister. But sometimes it was hard to have a beautiful sister. She herself was plain and uninteresting by comparison. At least she didn't have to wear glasses any longer since the laser eye surgery, though it really didn't make much of a difference. Her sense of fashion, long curly hair, and artistic talents were the only assets she possessed. She thought of all her lovely clothes lying on the bed back home in Paris. What a shame they were left there without her. Never mind, she would comfort herself with knowledge of the pretty lilac outfit tucked away in her bag. At least it had made the trip. She turned her thoughts to the rigid back of the man seated in front of her. What had she done to deserve his annoyance? It had been evident in his every word and gesture since the moment they met. Perhaps he was naturally unpleasant. She would avoid him. But that was going to be harder than it sounded, considering they were staying at his house. Annette groaned inwardly. Ugh, this was not good. Not good at all. The powerful beast of a truck ate up the kilometers with a low growl of its diesel engine. Before long, they were out of the city and speeding toward the mountains on a busy highway. Ahead of them, a hazy blue ridge of mountains rose in the distance, just under a bank of cloud. The Rockies promised tranquility and beauty. Gabrielle had spoken so lovingly of them both. Annette edged as far to the center of the seat as she could, where she could get a better view, and wished she'd been able to bring her paints. The landscape was already inspiring her. She was glad to be finished with her studies. Despite that, 4 years at Beaux-Arts de Paris had left her wanting to put her own artistic stamp on the world.